Alrighty, I am back at it. It's been a rainy couple of days, so I haven't been able to do anything on the Miata, but we've been blessed with some nice fine weather today. Just finished work, started writing a cardboard list. It is aptly named Small Block MX5 because that's what my friends have started calling it because of last week's events. Right, so first thing on the agenda, paint and attach side skirts. I want to wire a fan switch in because I've had some overheating problems and the fans don't usually kick in. And then Matt has an E36 wing that we may be attaching to this. It's like the big double stack M3 wing, so we'll give that a go as well. Let's get started on those skirts. That was the car I traded the Miata for. That's funny. Right, so these are off of the Altezza. I've already cut them down to length because obviously that thing is a lot smaller than the Tez. I did try to put a quick and nasty coat on these the other day. It didn't take too well and started bringing up some of the red paint underneath, so they're going to need a nice sandback. I'm now realising I don't have any wax and grease or any solvent to clean them up once I've sanded them, so I'm going to run to Super Cheap quickly and do that before they close. I've remembered another thing to put on the list, and this is an important one. Tighten handbrake, because it does nothing. Alright, I've got 120 grit rags and some wax and grease remover. Let's get these things ready for paint. Alright, about 20 minutes later, that one's sanded up half decent, so I think I might chuck a coat of paint on it before I start the other one, just because I want to see if it's actually going to stick, or if I need to really sand it back to the plastic. Alright, weapon of choice, Linda 1K satin. This stuff's always been pretty consistent for me. Like, all these fairings on the bike are done in this. The mirrors and door handles and stuff on the Altezza are done with it. And it always seems to come out really nice. Would you look at what I found in the shed? This should make my life easier. Alright, 2 coats down on the first side skirt. I'm just going really light. Do lots of coats, let it dry between each. Alrighty, side skirt number 1 is painted to an acceptable degree. So it's on the Altezza, currently drying. This one I have sanded back quite a bit more, so hopefully we'll get a really nice finish on that. Second coat is on the second side skirt. The first one has dried out to the touch, so it's actually looking quite good. So I'm going to see how well I can mount that. I did have to cut the end caps off to make it fit, so I can't bolt it up from the back, so I'm probably going to have to end up drilling a hole down there, but hey, as long as it fits and looks kind of cool, I'm happy. Alrighty, I've got that skirt mounted, the other one is drying up, but I'm pretty happy with it. Looks a little out of place at the moment, but that's just because there's no other kitting on it. But I do have a front lip that should be here this week, so that'll definitely be in this video if it does arrive. And then the spoiler as said. But all in all, not too bad. It's a bit of a wash now. Alrighty, it's been about 3 days of constant rain since I filmed the last clips, but today it's bloody wonderful out. I've got 2 cans of paint, which hopefully are the right match, because obviously this isn't a factory paint colour, and I had to kind of pick the brain of the lady at the paint shop. I figured out what paint shop this paint came from, so I'm really hoping this matches. It's a completely custom mix, so she thinks she found the right one on file, but we'll have to see, because looking at these side skirts the last couple of days, I think the black's just a bit in your face. So I will be painting those today. I'm going to put the front lip on, see how that looks in black. May also end up painting that. So let's get started. One tip I can give for spray painting is chuck it in some hot water for a good 20-30 minutes or however long you have before you start painting. Just really gets the pressure up inside the can and makes it come out a lot more misty, not so blotchy and yuck. Alrighty, so I sanded back the side skirts again, just with some 800 grit, just to get a nice good surface on there, and hit them with some wax and grease remover. So now it's time to get going on these. One coat down, and holy, they're already starting to look pretty damn close. We might be in luck after all. So while I'm waiting for the coats to dry, I bought this off Marketplace. Got it sent up from Christchurch, so that wasn't super cheap, but quite a bit cheaper than buying one brand new. So I'll sand that back. Oh, I'll fit it first. I'll fit it black, see how that looks. If I want to do it purple too, which I think I probably will end up doing, then I'll paint it. While I was already buying parts off of a guy who was wrecking a couple of these, I got some bits to just tidy it up a little bit. So fuse box cover, let's not get any water in there and start having electrical issues, because I fucking hate electrical issues. Alrighty, I've mounted the front lip. The paint's not great on it, I haven't painted it yet. I actually quite like how it looks in black. I thought I was going to do it purple to make it look like just a bigger bumper, but I reckon the black looks good. So I'll pull it back off and give it a blast to the 1K set tone that I originally did the side skirts in. Speaking of which, that's only 2 coats, and I'm pretty darn pleased with how they're coming out. So probably just one more coat over top, because you can still see a bit of red peeking through there, and then clear coat. Oh, I need a fucking paint booth, man. Alright, not too much damage, thank God. Alright, I've put some nice acrylic clear coat on the side skirts. They've come up pretty darn good. Front lip is sanded. I mean, there's still pretty big scratches and stuff in there, but I mean, they're just going to end up happening anyway, and I couldn't really get them out, so that's about as good as I'm going to do it. Time to give that a paint too. One other thing that has been annoying me a little bit is the soft top lock here. That isn't locking in properly, and you've got to give it quite a bit of pressure from the top to push it in. So while I was grabbing all those parts off the guy, I got me a new one of them. It's looks like it's been repainted, a bit oxidized, but I'm not going to bother painting it. I'm just going to chuck it on now. Cool. That is all installed. Works nicely, locks you out. Still works when you hit the button. Bloody good. So I wasn't getting a great finish on the black on the front lip, so I've banged some primer on there out of a very old tin, so should be right. Alrighty, skirts are dry enough to start handling, so I'm going to chuck them on, and I've just put a second coat of primer on the lip there, so that should be pretty good to go. Passenger side skirt is on. That looks a hell of a lot better than in black. Fitment of it isn't perfect, there's little gaps, but for something I've been able to do for free, plus the cost of the paint, I'm not too disappointed at all. Obviously it's a good clean. So there's a charity car show about an hour away from here tomorrow, so me and a couple of mates are going to go out there. So I just want to get it looking a little nicer. I'll give it a wash in the morning and then we'll head out to that, but this lip's getting close to being done now. Primer is dried up, time to hit it with the black, and hopefully it sticks a lot better than before. One thing I mentioned in the last video is how loud this thing was, so I did end up getting the resonator that was here replaced with this one, which I thought would quieten it up a bit, because I believe the one I had was really cheap, but it did absolutely nothing essentially. So I took the resonator that came out and have really badly welded it in there. I think I can see a leak from here. Yeah, but I mean, I wasn't expecting it to be perfect, but it's a hell of a lot quieter. It's actually like drivable now. I don't feel like a complete dick when I'm going through town, so that's good. Driver's side skirt is mounted, looking pretty good. Also dirty bodywork on that side, so that should come up nicely in a wash tomorrow morning. Just waiting for the clear coat on the front lip to dry. Obviously still those big scratches in it, but better than it was before. So I'll give that a couple more minutes to dry, then I'll chuck that on, and then I think I'll be done for the day. There we go. Front lip is on. I think black was the right choice. Pulled it out into the light a little bit here so I can have a proper look. Pretty happy with how that turned out. The back of the side skirts I feel like could be mounted a little higher, so I might have a look at using bolts instead of zip ties at some point. But now it really just needs a wash before the little car show tomorrow. Looking good. is the day of the charity car show. I've just given the car a nice wash, so it's looking all pretty. Got a couple of little things to tie up, and then a couple of mates are meeting at mine. And then we are going to cruise out. It's about an hour's drive down to Harwater for the event Saturday. Yeah, should be a good day. That's cool. You can actually see the valve of the Valvetronic exhaust in that Porsche. Nice and clean. The side skirts look much better. There's not a bunch of mud and shit behind them. So yeah, might do some tyre shine, a couple little rough edges, but pretty much ready to go. Alright, we've got some boys around now. Cole's brought the teaser, and Ben has brought the Legacy. And Hayden has brought along the Mark V. What is my shitty car for? Here's Chris and the Betty. Alrighty, we made it to the event. We're just rolling in with the boys. Go have a walk around, see what's out here. That's a short turbo timer, eh?
Oh, I had to send it off with my key.
Oh, geez, fancy guy. Still got my license. While we were on our drive back though, something new popped up to add to the list. Passenger window no longer goes back up or down, so it's popped off the rail. So I think I'm going to go home and address that. Alrighty, time to pop the door card off, see why this window is not doing what it should. If you've ever worked on a Japanese door card, you know all too well about this stuff. It is fucking horrible. I really should be in my overalls, but I can't be fucked. One of these cables snapped with not much pressure at all, so yeah, it will be a whole motor and regulator assembly I need, so I'll get onto that in the coming days. Order one of those in for now. It's pretty easy to push down. And the other cables. Oh, yep. There you go. I don't think that's the entire problem because it still doesn't. How the hell did that just move? Cables are broken. I've very haphazardly tied one of the window cables to there, so it can only go down that far. Alrighty, I'm back. It is another Saturday. I've added some things to the list. Replaced that window assembly, which I've got a second-hand one in that box there. Got our lock diff, which I should be picking up tomorrow to chuck in. I've got a Mazda fire extinguisher with bracket, so I'll be installing that. And got some fluids for my differential, I've still got quite a bit of stuff to punch off on here, so that window motor I don't look forward to doing. It's going to be real tedious, so I think I might tighten the handbrake first. Just to show you here, the handbrake has a lot of slop, so to get it up to where it actually holds the car, it's about there. Alrighty, so there's our adjustment screw there, but there's no space between it and the handbrake, so I can't use a ratchet, so I'm going to have to get a ring spanner in, so center console has to come out again. Alrighty, that seems to have done pretty well. It's got way less throw now, actually feels properly tight. So you may be noticing a theme. I'm tightening my handbrake, I'm getting a lock diff, I've got fire extinguisher. There is a track day 2 weeks from today, and it's about 3 hours away. So I'm going to try to get the car all ready for that and take it out for a spin there. I've got Chris is coming down in his S13, he's the guy with the rotor from earlier, and then Matt with the E36. I'm trying to get him to come as well. I've got another mate coming up from Wellington, it's in Fielding. So it's just a little backtrack cone day where you just burst around in these little sections of the track and just get some good seat time and practice in. So it'd be fucking awesome to get this car out there. Another thing, you may be noticing the spot in the driveway, there's usually a red Altezza. Finally sold that, which I'm really happy about. That thing has just been a money pit for a while, and I mean I could have fixed it, I could have put more money into it and got it back on the road, but it just lost interest and wasn't the chassis I wanted to continue with. And then when I got this thing in a swap deal, it was kind of a breath of fresh air, and I was like, sweet, this is the chassis I'm really gonna lock in on and get to a point where I want it. So yeah, pretty good day for me yesterday when I sold that. And now I've got a long weekend to get this old girl all drift ready, so let's go. Alright, these handbrake surrounds are probably the ugliest bit of the interior, so the weather's not looking too great, but I'm sure I'll have time to quickly give them a sand and a bash over with some black before it starts raining, so let's do that. They sanded up alright. I didn't have any of my nice quality paint lying around. This was discontinued like a year and a half ago from Super Cheap, so I don't know if it's still gonna... Oh yeah. Yeah, it's still there. Okay, there we go. Okay, while I was sitting there waiting for the paint to dry, I started mocking up where to put my fan switch. So these are just blank offs. The weird thing is, I don't think they've no wires going to them, even though it's just a piece of plastic, there's no actual switching in there. But I pulled the switch out of this sort of bucket thing and put this aftermarket one in. So, I don't think that looks too bad. It's recessed in there, which isn't factory, but I don't hate it. It's good enough for parts I just had lying around. So I'm not too sure if I'm actually going to do that door today because the weather's sketchy. I've got an appointment in a couple of hours and I don't really want to be stuck with a window out when I have to leave, or if it starts raining. So I might leave that one for another day. I'm also not looking forward to it because that's going to be a shit job, I already know it. So I'm just waiting for that paint to dry and then get the handbrake put back together and we'll see what's next. Alright, it's not perfect because I used cheap paint, but looks a lot nicer than the grey yucky old 40-year-old plastic that was on there before. So very nice. I'm just going for a drive after tightening the handbrake cable, but it has not done enough, like even fully ripping it. Won't break the wheels loose at all, it barely slows me down. So I will have to figure out what part of the system is weak and fix that, because I do really want a working handbrake for the drift day, so otherwise the clutch is just going to get such a fucking beating. So one step forward, 2 steps back sort of thing, but we'll get it sorted. It is the next day. Went to Cars and Coffee this morning. I'll chuck a clip or two in here. It's my old car. It's pretty cool. I'm going up to Matt's. We're going to put this lock diff in and tidy up the fan wiring, a couple of other things, so yeah, should be good. Alrighty, we've got Matt's shed. Thank you for letting me use it, Matt. Car is up in the air. Took a couple minutes, but 4 jack stands. Got lots of clearance. So now I need to put some fluid in this diff and seal it and close it up nicely. So yeah, bloody good. Here we have the diff, nice and welded. So time to RTV up the seal and then put some fluid in it and whip the other diff out. And Matt is going to be wiring the fan to a switch. Thank you, Matt.
If his car burns down, it wasn't my fault, alright?
I think I've got a fuse somewhere. I might not have brought it. It's gooping time. Goop is applied, not the prettiest, but we'll get the job done. Matt's over here destroying my loom for a good cause. So. Yeah, it's a problem. Right, it's probably been 2 hours or so since I last filmed something. The fan wiring went well, Matt's got that pretty much buttoned up. However, for these power plant frame fucking bolts that go straight through the diff, so they're this real long bolt, you'd think there'd be a nut on the top, but no, it's kind of just like a washer that's threaded on the inside and then does actually have a spline that goes down into the PPF frame, which I have now stripped. You can see I've had the vice grips on there quite a bit. And it is, the thread's up there completely seized, like we cannot get any more movement out of it. So we're going nuclear option, and I'm just going to weld that up there. And hopefully then we can get those off. And either if it's welded on there really strong, hey, that might be a permanent solution, or I'll have to go to Bunnings and buy a nut that suits. Alright, after probably, say 2 hours, Matt? Something like that. That's how long it took us to get this bolt out. The thread on here, like absolutely munched. So I tried to weld the head to the, ow, it's hot. Tried to weld the head
That's hard.
to the PPF frame. PPF frame did not take to welding, but it gave us something better to grip onto rather than just the circle washer. So by the grace of God, it's out. I'm sure there's a reason that it's not a normal nut, but I think for now I'm just going to replace it with a normal nut because I cannot be fucked doing that again. Alrighty, it is the following day. Just got to Matt's here, where the car has been sleeping over for the night. So I did end up getting the second of those long bolts out yesterday. My arms are fucking dead. I'm just sitting under the car all day with my arms above me. So, time to drop the diff properly. I think we might need to do a little clearancing on the welded diff, so I'll get my Dremel, do that, get some new hardware for the bolts, chuck it all back together. Hopefully it should be somewhat smooth sailing from here. And while I've been crashing out under the car, Matt has wired the fans in. Thank you, Matt, very good. One step closer to the track. Bloody good. One of the stub axles doesn't go all the way in because there's a little bit of weld that's poking out and stopping it, so I'm just going to clearance it a little. Alrighty, welded diff is put all together. I filled it with fluid. I'm just leaning it up on that side to see if any fluid leaks out of our dodgy stub shaft side. Now it's time for some hard-earned breakfast, and then we will get to chucking it back in the car. I did have to drop the exhaust to get the diff out, and when I was pulling the exhaust out from under the car, it fucking snagged the drive shaft and pulled that out of the gearbox, so that was pretty funny. Alright, with a heavily modified diff, we had to do a lot of dodgy shit to get it to work. The car is on the ground, just need to put the skirts on, The weather's turned out great, considering I've just put a lock diff in. So, chuck that all back together, go for a drive and see how we go. Spent some time working on Matt's E36, getting it all ready for the drift day on Saturday. It is currently Tuesday. We did get an opportunity to test out the Welded Diff. A mate of ours has like this little private car park, went up to and split on a couple donuts, so I'll chuck that in here. All G'd up for drift day. Fucking Matt's gonna pay his entry tonight and get in there, and yeah, we'll be on our way. I'm going up Friday, staying the night, and then all day Saturday we'll be out on the track. Watch out for the drift video dropping in a week or two after this one.